You know her as a wildly successful author, producer, philanthropist, and activist, but do you know who J.K. Rowling was before she was a billionaire? For Valuetainment Media, I'm Gerard Harron, and this is Before They Were Billionaires. J.K. Rowling was born Joanne Rowling to James and Anne Rowling in Yate, Gloucestershire, England. Her parents were blessed with a second daughter, Diane, just a month prior to Joanne's second birthday. Academically proficient, she attended the St. Michael's Primary School before enrolling herself at the Wieden School and College for further studies. She admitted herself at the University of Exeter for a BA in French and Classics. She started writing fiction tales when she was 5 years old, her first ever written story being Rabbit. Ever since then, she continued to pursue her love of writing by penning numerous stories. After graduating in 1986, J.K., or Jo as she's known to her friends, moved to London and took up the job as a researcher and bilingual secretary for Amnesty International. Meanwhile, she penned a short essay titled, "What Was the Name of That Nymph Again?" or Greek and Roman Studies Recalled. That was published in the University of Exeter's journal, Pegasus. While on a journey from Manchester to London, a daring thought envisioned and captured her heart and mind like never before, and she went on to dream a little bit more, thus forming the caricature of the bespectacled boy, Harry Potter, and his wizardly antics. Like most great writers, she's a dopamine fiend, and that adrenaline rush that she felt about the wizardry boy and his world left her bemused so much that she did not waste her time about penning her thoughts, or rather kept on forming a more concrete idea. The same evening, she started penning the Philosopher's Stone, the first of the Harry Potter tales. Rowling relocated herself to Portugal, where she would teach English at nights, allowing herself all the freedom she needed to write during the day. Facing desperate times, Jo moved in with her sister in Scotland. Being in a major crisis situation with no job and a disrupted personal life, she was on state welfare. She still inspired herself to write. She felt that was the only thing that brought up passion in her. By 1995, Jo had completed most of the manuscript of what would eventually become her legendary book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Yet still, she faced massive rejection. Over 12 publishers and editors didn't want anything to do with the fantastical series. Finally, she got the green signal from Barry Cunningham of Bloomsbury Publishing. Meanwhile, to support herself financially, she took up a teacher training course at the Moray House School of Education at Edinburgh University. 1,000 copies of the first edition of the book were printed, of which 500 were only distributed to libraries. Things started to look up for the young writer, though, as the superlative success of the first Harry Potter series helped her gain an £8,000 grant from the Scottish Arts Council. Additionally, she was buoyed by the selling of the international rights to the U.S. publisher Scholastic Incorporated. Rowling was finally financially stable enough to move herself into a flat in Edinburgh, or as we say in America, an apartment. There she immersed herself further into the series, chronicling about the life of Harry Potter, the school of Hogwarts, his friends like the know-it-all Hermione Granger and the confused Ron Weasley. She came out with a sequel to the book in 1998 titled Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Much like its predecessor, the book was very well received and captivated the mind of the audience, who kept craving for more. By the summer of 2000, with 3 of what would eventually become a 7-book series already in circulation, Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling had already done over $480 million worth of business, with over 35 million copies in print in 35 different languages. One of the best parts about J.K. Rowling is that she never keeps her fans waiting, and by the summer of 1999, she premiered Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, meaning that 3 of what would eventually be a 7-book series were already in circulation. And boy, were they doing big-time business. With over 35 million copies in print in 35 different languages, Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling were worth over $480 million.
You hear that, George R.R. Martin? You hear that, George R.R. Martin?
The craze and frenzy of the Harry Potter series had multiplied so many-fold that she had to withdraw the 4th book from the series in contention just to give other books a fair chance. Meanwhile, the overwhelming success of the Harry Potter series made it the single most profitable franchise for filmmakers. As such, capitalizing on the success of the written works, Warner Bros. Signed a deal with her to come up with a film adaptation of the same. July 8, 2000, J.K. Rowling released her 4th book, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The book crashed all the previous records and set new milestones in the literary world of fiction. It sold as many copies in the first day as Prisoner of Azkaban sold in its first year. In 2001, the film version of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was released. The film was greatly received at the box office, earning $90.3 million in its first weekend. Sidebar, I can already hear it. It's not called Philosopher's Stone, it's called Sorcerer's Stone. Get it right! Well, newsflash, if you don't know, it was originally titled The Philosopher's Stone, and it was changed by the marketing geniuses at Scholastic that thought, oh, nobody in America wants to read a book about a philosopher's stone, and they changed it to Sorcerer's Stone here in America. So I'm siding with the artist. It was originally called Philosopher's Stone, and that's what I call it, all right? His mama called him Clay, I'ma call him Clay. Anyway, as we were saying, the sequel to the wildly successful Sorcerer's Stone was released in 2002 as Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. In 2003, Rowling released the 5th novel of the series, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, while the 6th book, titled Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, came out in 2005. It further created new records in the literary world by selling 9 million copies in the first day itself. In the meantime, the demand for the film adaptations of the novels also were peaking. In 2004, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban was released, and in 2005 came Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The final book of the series came out on July 21st, 2007, titled Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I remember this because my sister, Allison Harron, was one of those people camped out for about 36 hours outside of Barnes & Noble's. I don't know why she didn't just buy it on Amazon. 14 days later, she needed it that night. And if you like Amazon, and if you like buying things on Amazon, you can check out, and also Before They Were Billionaires on Jeff Bezos right here. But let's just say this, as great as J.K. Rowling is, as awesome as the world she created is, there is absolutely no literary work of art that would make me camp outside on the sidewalk for 36 hours. But Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows did it to everybody else. It became the fastest selling book of all time, with 11 million copies sold in its first day of release in just the UK and the US. Coinciding with that release was the film version of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. In 2009, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince was released on screen, and the last book of the series was adapted into 2 installments, while the first part was released in November of 2010, and the second part hit theaters in 2011, which made J.K. Rowling officially a billionaire. But hold it, stop. For only a short period of time, she got on the Forbes list in 2011 and then immediately donated 10% of her total net worth, estimated to be $1.6 billion at that time, to various charities. This is a woman that came from nothing, remembered exactly what it felt like. And at the moment of her greatest triumph, with her 8th film and 7 books released, she gives back $160 million, taking herself off of the billionaires list. So although she may not technically be a billionaire today, she was a billionaire in 2011. Rowling has continued writing. She's created a vast Potterverse you can find online. There are encyclopedias, there are websites. She's also written books for adults under pseudonyms that have had some mixed results. But why not? She's got the money now. Go ahead, have some fun.
Joe Rowling, you're having some fun out there. You're making some stuff.
One of the craziest facts I ever read is that Stephen King, John Grisham, and Danielle Steele together have not sold as many copies as J.K. Rowling has. That is immense success. And if you want to know about writing and success, Patrick Bet-David has an unbelievable interview with Robert Greene that you can check out right here. And if you enjoyed Before They Were Billionaires, you can see the rest of the series right here. For Valuetainment Media, I'm Gerard Harron, and this has been Before They're Billionaires. The Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone. The Philosopher's Stone. My tongue's getting big again. With the Harry Potter series and the fantastic beats